スラサターンしろ。
Dave, all right, I'll do that again. I'll do that again.
Us.
I always forget to unmute the mics because they're always talking in the background, so I just keep the mics muted.
You demonetized us.
I demonetized us, darn it. SaturnDave here, TraynoCo. Welcome to a Friday SHIRO show. I am lacking sleep. I'm sick. It's a miracle that I'm here. Hope it's a miracle. But I'm a hologram. So I'm only half here.
Yeah, this is a pre-recording that somehow can interpret all comments in the chat. So, yeah.
I took away the scan lines for Shadow Mask and the flicker because I guess some people were wigging out. I hope that this is better.
There's only one thing I can say about our images now. Yo, listen up, here's a story about a little guy who lives in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything you see. Okay, I'm gonna stop being loud.
I'm blue. What was that? That was like 1999, I want to say, I think. Because I remember like Phantom Menace came out at the same time that I was rocking that CD, and now I'm really ashamed to say that yes, I had that CD.
Is that before or after you picked up Enema of the State on CD?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Enema of the State, Mill and Colin, Lagwagon. I was listening to all that stuff. Same time, but yeah.
Was Wheatus? Was that 99 as well? The Teenage Dirtbag?
Yeah, I don't know.
I forgot.
No, actually, that one's not on my radar.
Gotcha.
I missed some stuff.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag.
Oh,
baby.
right. Okay, so I heard that I heard that song, but I wasn't into that.
It's like in every crappy 90s college movie ever, so it's not surprising.
But I was like big into 311 at the same time. You know, like actually I had really eclectic music taste at that time. Yeah, 311. But Blink 182 for sure. Oh, you know, I didn't really like them, but you heard the hell out of them on the radio was Sugar Ray, you know? You heard
Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray a lot on the radio.
The one song, was it Someday When the World Just Pass You By? Mm-hmm. Sit around and wonder why we're always there for me. Yeah, and the other band, Incubus. Incubus was also huge at that time. I don't know what they sung.
Yeah, I know. I can't even remember now.
They did Hey Yeah, right? You know, Hey Yeah. No,
yeah, I don't even remember. It's like, you know, now I'm on the spot, so I can't. Anyway, what's up? Anyway, I have the browser open. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm really like.
You should close that.
I'm going cross-eyed because I've been working remotely from home, and my and I'm just like been looking at a laptop screen all day, and I'm just not on top of my game today.
I went to bed at like at 2 in the morning last night, but I'll explain why later. But yeah. I kind of want to do an open letter while we have these people here that are a bit disappointed with some things that are going on in the community. Did we want to give them the floor, or?
Sure. What do you think, yeah, sure.
All right, boys, you got the floor. What do you guys got to say? That's like the, what do you guys got to say? And dead silence.
And dead silence. Maybe they didn't know they were.
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Trekkies walk away.
Yeah, no, we can hear you. We can hear you, Xenos.
I was just gonna let Xenos go first.
Okay. Well, it's not a united front. Like I think Nguyen doesn't have a problem with his games being pirated. Correct me if I'm wrong. Trekkies has a big problem, and I also have a big problem if it ever happens, because I don't actually have skin in the game right now because nobody pirated yet, but I'm like the only guy who's actually, well, not the only guy, I'm in a team of 9 people, but I'm the only guy in that team who seems to be interested in selling the game, so I'm trying to sell the game, and yeah.
I guess so you're saying your words is like that you want that you don't want people like pirating and re-uploading your game on different websites. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, because the game is free, and you only it's optional if you want to donate, but it's kind of, I don't guess, bad style if you just pirate off it or make a copy and then resell it as a CD, because I don't know. Of course, you can always lament it, and it's like it's just an honor code.
Well,
I'll just go into like the one that I have. Like when it comes to the translation patches, like I'm not going to try and fight that. It's like that's going to keep happening. There's no getting around it. The one that I'm more concerned about are when it comes to some of our homebrew ports, like my port of Final Fantasy, VBT's port of Wolfenstein 3D. There's another one I think for like Flashback and Out of This World. A couple other ones like that. And the big thing that's going on with that that's starting to really irritate people is we're seeing them pop up being distributed or sold on discs with, like for Wolfenstein 3D, with the full retail WAD included in it. For the Final Fantasy one, I'm seeing that pop up with the NES ROM included. And basically, there is a reason that we don't include those when we distribute them. And it's like with Wolfenstein 3D, that is a blatant violation of id's software license for the open source. You cannot distribute it with that commercial WAD. Like all you can distribute with is the shareware one at most. So when people are distributing it, that now shines light on basically the people who have made that port and could possibly get them in trouble and get a cease and desist thrown at them. For Final Fantasy, the way I'm making it, I'm intending it to be basically, when it's all said and done, to just be basically like an interpreter. Whereas here's a program that if you give it the Final Fantasy ROM, it will be able to read the data and the scripting and all that and recreate the logic and just go with it and let you play it. But the catch is you need to provide your own ROM. And that's kind of just how basically I'm doing it more as like it's kind of like an educational fun experiment for me to see how far I can get with that. But that's why I don't include the ROM, because that would be blatant piracy, and I do not need Square Enix or whoever coming down on me with like a massive cease and desist, because that would basically just kill the project.
Yeah, you don't want Square Daddy coming after you. That's not a fun prospect to think about.
I have something to add.
Yeah.
Well, I have something to add to this. Aside from the potential legal issues, which I think is probably the most important, relevant issue. We don't want any of you guys getting in trouble for this. You're not even getting paid. You're just doing this as a passion project. But I mean, as well, it's like as a community, we want to support you guys. So even recently with a recent article that I did on the 27th anniversary, Garrett, the guy from Sega Extreme, he pointed out you don't want a hot link, which I guess means where you just put a link, even though the image is hosted on Sega Extreme, for example. If I have a direct link to download it in my article, then their site is not really getting traffic from that. In a way, it's not being supported then, and traffic to their site helps because of, revenue and stuff. So it's like if you want to, so even from a position of supporting the developers, it's better to link to your guys' page so that people can see you guys talk about your game. They can download it from you. You guys get the traffic, and then Night of Dragon has made it so easy now to patch Saturn games. There's really no excuse, So it's I think it's very important that the community understands that sites that just freeboot games, I guess that's what we're calling it, right? Freebooting, which is just basically applying the patch to a copyrighted image and putting it up, distributing it. Yeah, that completely circumvents the people who did all the work, basically. And so it is essentially you're actively not supporting those folks, And then also,
and I think I think the other big issue that we have to think about is the fact that Trekkie's brought this up off air, but the fact that there's so many images with different versions of it. So, like, you could download it and you'll get like the previous one that like I guess for example, Soccer Wars, where they have the graphical glitches, or you might download Knights.
There was one I saw for Grandia where it was like the one that was hosted was like version 0.6 or 0.7. It's like that one has horrific bugs where it will just crash and die. You can't beat the game. So like you're basically like shooting yourself in the foot by downloading that version, because you're not going to be able to beat the game. Half the stuff isn't implemented and things don't work.
Yeah,
exactly. And then like imagine if somebody made say somebody's, oh, I'm gonna make a repro of this. Oh, let me go grab this disk image from, I don't know, some website that hosts it, and you grab it and it's the crashing version, and then some poor sucker buys it and he's out $30 to $50 or something because the version they patched was a broken one. And it's like a lot of people, they really, I don't want to justify it and say that's a good thing, but a lot of people play it through these patches. So even if we don't like the people that make it, I mean, the fact that people are making and doing that is pretty bad, and it's definitely not good look for the community as well. Because it's like, oh, I had this patch, I bought this repo for $50, and I wasted so much money, and now it's crashing on me, and I can't get past this certain point, and why is it broken? And it's like, did you check the patch image? And it's like patches ago, and it's a dangerous prospect.
The other problem it causes, sometimes we'll get people reporting bugs to us. We're like, well, that's a really old version. Don't play it. It's like, and then sometimes we'll just get bugs reported, and it's like, so we're like, this happened again. And we start digging out. We're like, well, no, they're using an old patch.
Right. So for version control, that's just incredibly confusing because
it makes us go down rabbit holes chasing red herrings because we're getting these bug reports that just aren't accurate anymore.
Right.
And the thing that's the saddest thing is that if they go to a internal patch thing, they only release the good ones, then it's like you guys won't be able to play it as soon as it's ready to be played or beta tested, and they'll get less people to beta test it. Because keep in mind, people, when the version says 0. whatever, that's not a retail release or has a beta for it. That's not a ready to go thing. You can't burn that to a disk and assume it's going to work. There's going to be game crashing glitches. I mean, it's just the nature of these things. Yeah. You can't really do that. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'd also like to add something. I recently had an argument with a colleague of mine in our hacker and makerspace. It regarded the arguments that these people were bringing, like what you're doing is illegal and what we doing is illegal. And then I had this argument with him, and he said it's potentially not illegal because this is a crime. Like translating something which you need to sue somebody for. Right. It's not like a crime that gets pursued either way. So if we have the tacit approval from Sega, who are doing nothing about these fan translations, can you still call these patches a crime? Is what I'm asking. Right.
You're talking about the old no honor among thieves argument. You get these people saying, oh, well, we're all thieves, right? So you don't really expect us to show any kind of honor or loyalty. But that's not exactly correct. See, if you, it's one thing if you want to go download an image somewhere, right? And I think a lot of us are doing that, right? But I mean, you gotta be able to apply your own patch, right? Because what you guys are doing, creating modifications, you're just creating the patch, right? That's not technically illegal.
We're giving you a thing that says this is it's like I did some things to my copy.
Right.
Here's the difference of it if you want to try it on yours.
Exactly. And technically, if
Grandia, the base files that I used for Grandia, I ripped them from my original Saturn disk and my original PlayStation disk.
Right. And anybody else who owns a copy of that disk can apply that patch and they'll be completely in the clear. It's they're modifying their own version of the game, as long as they're not redistributing it. And then for those folks
I think it's Sega themselves has their own official Discord. I think it's called Sega Forever.
Right.
And even them, they have a rule that basically says we're fine with translation patches being discussed and talked about and just the patching. Just do not distribute or share the actual full image.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's also what Emerald Nova said. If the creator says, please don't do that, then you don't do that. And we have the tacit approval from Sega. They do not have the tacit approval of the patch devs. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think I looked at the comment Phaseus put in the comments. I think it really solidifies this idea completely. Where do you guys post your homebrews and fan translations? I got mine off CD Romance. And it's sort of stuff like that I'm not trying to blame them. It's just like the ignorance of that, where it's like you don't know where this is coming from because a lot of people are just posting on these websites and it's sharing out. They don't know that all this stuff is on Sega Extreme, everything that they get for the patches, and that's really not a lot of their fault. It's not like the little guys that want to download; they just want to play the games. Mm-hmm. It's the people that share these out and like they like share out these full images where it's like, why would you do that? It's like taking away from these other places where you can patch them. So I guess I'll say this here for everyone watching. If you want to download any Sega Saturn patch, it's all going to be on Sega Extreme. Every single one, every single patch is on that website.
Some also show up some are on romhacking.net as well, some of the older ones.
Exactly.
Well, and also
RomHacking.net also has his own website. I think it's like Team Medusa, where they have a bunch of theirs hosted as well.
And Xenos is on itch.io, or what is it?
Yeah. It's.io.
Yeah. So, I mean, the point here is please don't engage in activity that's going to expose the developers and the patchers to legal trouble. And please do engage in activity or behavior that helps support these developers by either buying their game, or contributing to their Patreon, visiting their website and giving them traffic in case they have, all of that helps, and going and getting the image from the real source and patching it yourself rather than being lazy about it, so that you're getting it from them directly from the source. And if you have any issues with it, you can actually reach out to them, and they're very open to that as long as you're actually getting it from them, because then that's the point at the end of the day. Basically, I mean, this wasn't really an issue as much like 5 years ago. Everybody was down, because there wasn't as much of a Saturn development scene, as there is now. Now it's like, really, really exploded, and there's so many people involved. And I think it's really important that we become sensitive to this stuff because, we have to.
And don't worry about, and people that download from lower places, don't worry about it before. I mean, I think a lot of people, there's people in the chat saying, "Oh yeah, sorry for doing that." Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
We're not slapping your hand.
You didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I download. Okay, I don't own every Saturn game. Okay, and when I want to apply a patch, I'll download something from archive.org. Right. I'm not worried about anybody coming after me for that, but anyway, I'll admit I download some images off Archive and I'll slap the patch on myself. And Night of Dragon has made it so easy now with that universal patcher. It's just so easy. There's really no excuse. I'm not going to get an image from CD Romance because half the time I've had images fail from them. I'd rather just patch it myself so I know like what it took to do it. And then I can explain it to somebody else, rather than just being like, oh yeah, I just yoinked it from a shared drive, Yeah,
and then we add guides on each of the articles we do for fan translations for the most part on the Saturn. So that'll have full like translation guides on how to patch it yourself. So if you look at pretty much any article we have on fan translations being dumped, they should have being uploaded, they should have a full walkthrough. I know Bulk Slash has one.
Yeah.
On how to use Night of Dragon's patcher, and it's very simple. It's all plug and play. You can even rip the actual disc and patch that directly.
Yeah, so if you actually own, if you went out and if you bought like Wackenroder for like $10 or something, you can just pop it into your CD drive and use Night's patcher, and it'll rip it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Night's patcher is so simple that you can just put your legit disc in there, click patch, and you get an image that's patched. You don't even have to you don't even have to like try and mess with trying to get a like good like kind of rip or whatever,
which is wonderful.
Like, that is just interesting. It's like as Knight has been developing that patcher, he has found like quite a few interesting like hiccups with some official games, like with I think it was Panzer Dragoon Saga. He found that there was actually an error in the US mastering that just throws things for a loop that made it a real pain to try and get things working right, and he has that all solved. And I think he found that actually like Redump's image is wrong. Yeah. Because he found that issue in it.
It's not wrong. It's just the way that things get dumped out, the tracks misalign. If you put it all together, the data's accurate. It's just if you were to say fake hack it and put in a new audio track, everything would get wrong, misaligned.
I guess wrong was the wrong word to use there, but I just remembered this was like I think a year ago you were digging into that one.
I'd like to also add something to another argument they keep making. They keep saying that they have day jobs, that they work hard to patch these games, but that's, I'd say, a very rich argument, because comparing to the hundreds and thousands of hours that people spend on these patches like Slash or the games, that's nothing. Like, one person, I'm not gonna say his name, but complained to us that he had to walk his dogs twice a day, and that he then, even then, although he has to walk his dogs twice a day, patches the games. And I don't care how many times you have to walk your dogs. Emerald Nova has a dog and a cat, and he had to like go out and his dog got lost one day, and he had to find it again. So what are you even talking about?
So
I'm pretty sure like all of us like have full-time jobs. I have a full-time job working 40 hours a week. Like I do this for fun.
Yeah. You're not
like nobody. Yeah, like nobody else in the world has dogs or a full-time job.
Right. I think the message to groups who seek to distribute this as a service to a community, I would say you're not really serving the community, because you're giving a man a fish, but you're not teaching him how to fish. And if this community continues to just be a bunch of average Joes who get stuff lazily and don't really know how to contribute or engage, they're just basically lurking and yoinking stuff, that's not the kind of community that we're trying to build here. We're trying to build an active community of people who are engaged. And in order to do that, you need to learn how to fish. You need to learn how to patch your own games. And you need to not just, we really encourage people not to just lurk, but to actually get involved. So yeah,
because people that are involved, I mean, people learn. Like Derek 18 for example, he just was on the Discord chat and talking with us, and now he's doing like 500 patches and just released one that we'll talk about later on in the show, actually. So and it's not really that hard to do all this stuff. Like, you can become active community member to a lurker to a coder.
Mm-hmm. There's a pervading belief that Saturn emulation is impossible, that went on for so long. And there's also this pervading belief that Saturn patching is really difficult, because it kind of used to be, depending on the patch, But now, like, that's no longer an excuse, I guess, is what we're saying, right?
Exactly. And I'm happy for everybody that joins our community, and not just ours, but like the Saturn Junkyard and the other communities out there as well.
Extreme. Yeah,
Sega Extreme, there's a bunch of them, Sega Net. There's so many different communities.
Sega 16.
Sega 16, Saturn, Sega, the Dreamcast.
Another good one. Good one to plug would be Sega Saturn Co.uk. That one has been around for since like 2005, 2006. It's a very nice one too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, although they disavow our existence.
Does somebody remember the East 4 translation and dub for the PC engine? That was like a huge project, and I remember seeing that they said because of all the pre-patched images, they lost interest in doing another project like this for the PC engine. Although the PC engine has so many great action-adventure titles who really could use a translation or a dub, and so this kind of behavior really hurts the homebrew community.
Yeah, and we don't want to be negative about all this stuff. I mean, if we want people to be positive, we want to be a positive impact, but it is something that has to be addressed, because I mean, we get constant laments from all the developers here in the chat and beyond that this is a problem, and like if something like that happens, like Zeno says, where people lose interest, then I mean the Saturn scene's just gonna die. I mean, it's just a sadness, really. I mean, imagine if we were this close to a fan translation to a game, but someone's like, you know what, it's not worth it anymore, and when we lose the opportunity to get a Princess Crown, we lose an opportunity to get J.R. Doozy fan translation, which I think is very important to have.
It only takes one time, right? It only takes one. Sorry,
Well, with seeing like the Final Fantasy demo being distributed with the NES ROM, that's disheartening. I was pretty much very close to just being like, you know what, I'm not going to pursue this any further because it's not worth it.
Yeah, because Nintendo,
like if someone comes down and smacks like VBT because people are distributing Wolf 3D with the WAD, like that could get other people. Maybe there's people thinking about porting Doom and they see that and they're like, I don't want to get involved in that. I don't want that to happen to me.
There's just some companies you don't wanna get in trouble with because they are really aggressive, like Nintendo or Square Enix. That's not something you take lightly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, what do we want to do to wrap this up? Any last thoughts?
I think I'm good on my end. What about you guys? I'll give the developers the last word on this.
I don't have anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I think that's about it. Why don't we move on to something more positive? And
well, Shadow Mask says, "Come, my lady, come, my lady," in the comments. You're my butterfly.
I don't know what that's referencing.
I think that's Crazy Town. It's a wild guess, but it's like a rap metal band from. I think he's.
Oh, I hate that band.
But I remember it though, because I kind of put it right into the Sugar Ray category or whatever of music I heard on the radio but never really listened to.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah. Let me just see here. Okay, so let's bring up the browser and talk about a little bit of Saturn news. There's not.
Yeah. Well,
wait. So we had.
We have like 4 articles.
Yeah, Greg put up. We talked about the 27th. Oh, I wanted to apologize to everybody that I very abruptly cut off the stream last week because I had a real 911 medical emergency. I didn't call 911, but I had to rush my kid to the urgent care because he I thought he broke his wrist, but he actually just sprained it really badly. So no harm, no foul. But sorry about that, guys. Anyway, we were summing up the 27th anniversary competition. I think we got through everything.
Yeah, we were just on I think we just didn't finish up the utilities.
The utilities, right. Wait, do you want to talk about that real quick? Do we have time?
If you'd like, we're like 30. We have 30 minutes
we got
left,
like 30 minutes left. I was just going to say, okay, so I will say real quick, I got rid of all the hot links because that was something that Sega Extreme brought up to me. So I really appreciate that because we definitely want to be supporting these guys the way that they need to be, that that's important to us. Also, so Cafe Alpha had the Save Repack, which is awesome. You guys should check it out. And I guess it's built into Sudokai. Of course, we've talked plenty about Night of Dragons, Sega Saturn Patcher. And he also made the Saturn Save Converter where you can literally just drop a save file onto this and it'll just
that's really cool.
Output it into a multitude of formats. We had Pwn Sound, which was the audio driver from Pwnut, which is being used for Hellslave. It's also being used for, I think, CubeCat. It's being used for a couple of different things, and it's open source, and so that's awesome. And then, of course, the simple Saturn model converter from Super Ray or Raymi, and that's awesome as well. That's what he's used for Skyblaster and Taint Game. And you guys can use it too. It's a free utility where you can import and convert models from different softwares. I guess, it supports plugins for import and export of additional formats, but that's cool.
So if you're rich and you have like a 3D Maya subscription, good to go. If you're cheap like me and have a 3D
Blender,
Blender,
I think Blender is like the free one, right? Why not?
Yeah,
Blender. Should we say something about all the other 3D model converters that exist? Like, there's XL2's model converter, I think.
Did he put it in the?
I don't think. Yeah, they did. They're just going over the ones that have been submitted for the competition.
Oh yeah, these are just the ones for the contest. There are other.
Yes, I know. I just thought maybe we should also mention that there's like a row of model converters which exist now for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were just mostly just covering the stuff in the competition, but definitely check those out as well.
And just like, and Slinga has his save converter as well, or he has his save tools as well, but that wasn't a part of the recent competition, so that's why we didn't mention it. But yeah, there's a lot of great Saturn utilities out there. You can go check it out on. Most of them are hosted on Sega Extreme, But moving right along, since we are short on time, sorry, Xenos. Greg wrote another blog, dev blog on the excellent bulk / English translation. Did we want to discuss this a little bit, Pat?
Yeah. So it was a really interesting article. I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite line in it was basically Night of Dragon. Do you understand what a binary file is? Greg was like, no, and then Night of Dragon's like, all files are binary files, and I thought that was the funniest line in the article, because it just goes to show that not a lot of people understand. I'm not throwing Greg in the book, 'cause he's a smart programmer now, but like, a lot of people understand like the intricacies of some, and how literally everything is pretty much a 1 and a 0, so everything's a binary file per se. But I love just a joke thing.
What I love about these development blogs so far, blog entries so far, is that it really does kind of take us through the learning process of how to patch a game, everything that he came across and everything that he's involved with. So it's like, if you're looking to do this for the first time, this is a great resource, I feel, because you're like learning from a lot of his experience, and so yeah, I didn't read the entire thing because I was short on time, but what I did read was really good, and I can definitely tell that this is a great resource to anybody who's like starting out learning how to patch a game.
Yeah, to give a Reader's Digest of it, basically he goes through why they couldn't implement subtitles into the action of the game. I know that was a big discussion and a big hot point with people, is that for the bulk / fan translation, they weren't able to actually add subtitles into the action to keep it like a sub-only game. And a lot of that was described to me earlier in more detail, where essentially it's going to take up room in the VRAM, and it would, with all the action on screen, it would either cause it to lag or just not work in general. So it really wasn't an option. And then he continues on well, we didn't do that. Well, we couldn't get that. Let's talk about the VO work. And he goes through exactly how they went about replacing the voice lines and how they ripped it. And there's a lot of funny videos that he included as a proof of concept that both Momphis and he actually implemented, where you hear them say their lines in their own voices. And it's actually really funny. I think it's really cute. And it reminds me of the glitch in Crash Team Racing with the Pingy character, where they left in that Pingy Yay line, the placeholder. I don't know if you guys know anything about that at all. Yeah, where in Crash, they have the placeholder.
I guess a bin file is just something that doesn't fit into any category, like a binary file. So it's like saying, we don't know what's in this file, let yourself be surprised.
Yeah, that's a good point. That could be the case. I'm not honestly that familiar with file structures and stuff, but I definitely think that sounds about right.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, I'm glad Pandemonium got my Crash Team Racing reference. That actually is in the retail game, so if you play as the penguin character, you can hear some developers say the name of the penguin, and that's kind of how it works. So someone was going to say something, but I cut them off. Or was that nobody? No, just nobody.
Nope.
I guess fair enough. All right, well, basically, it's a very, very great article. I've really enjoyed it. And the next article he's teased is going to be on the audition and the recording process, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm excited to see what he talks about and what goes on in the inside. It's like a behind the scenes sort of thing. I love behind the scenes stuff, so I'm excited to read that.
Cool.
What do we got next, Dave?
Next, Peter wrote an amazing in-depth article, and by in-depth I mean it's like a scroll of knowledge and wisdom on the Lunar game for Saturn. And I mean, he talks about the version on PlayStation as well. But yeah, this is just a really, really in-depth look, just talking about everything, every aspect of the game. And Peter is an excellent writer. He's been very busy with school again, so it's always a treat when he is able to publish, one of his articles comes complete with the SHIRO challenges, like different things that you can do to get more enjoyment out of the game. And he talks about the working design story, and there's just so much great information here. He talks about the MPEG versions. What did you want to say about this article?
I think the best part about it is that he mentions that about Luna's boat song being the most memorable song in the game, which is an objective fact. That's actually
I would have to agree. Yeah,
it is probably my favorite song in the thing, and actually, it's I learned about it from a meme actually, all about the Luna's boat song. So I thought that was pretty funny. But it's a really in-depth article, all about the game, all about some of the history behind it. The very interesting localization by Working Designs. A lot of controversy with that. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh yeah, let's Working Designs and make bad translations, or like they make bad like localization choices," which I thought was kind of funny. And there's a line in it that I think Vic said where it's like, "Oh well, some of the characters are pretty much just useless, so we add in lines to add some comedy to it," which I thought was kind of interesting. Actually, I'll read it right here. It's like, most game RPGs released have some amount of humor or witty dialogue, but the overall majority of text lacks personality when initially translated. We try to add character to the characters when we do the translation. Every time there's a guy that says, "This is so-and-so village," that serves a function, but it's boring. Why is the guy there? Is it his job to greet people? Is he practicing to get a job at the new Walmart? We would give the guy a reason to be there, and of course, talking with him, you'd find out what village you were in. Which I think, as much as I do agree with some people saying that, it's not cool to take the meaning away, I do like that localization fact where they kind of improve upon some of that and add some humor into it. I mean, some of it's probably not the best, but I do appreciate that. And I know that's a controversial opinion to have, but, sometimes, people don't get it right on the first time, and sometimes people make amendments that are actually better than the original. Like, I think, in terms of music, the closest I can think of is Rubber Soul in the United States is, to some people, better than the UK version of it, which I always thought was an interesting concept. But, and that's sort of my view on that. I know a lot of people, let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think, what do you guys think of the localization choices and stuff of that nature? But besides that, it also goes into the translation for that Mr. Conan and the entire team worked on and did, who also did the second one for the game competition, the Lunar 2 Eternal Blue. So
yeah, put out that preview. Cool. It's in progress. So very exciting. Exactly. And Peter did mention Lunar 2 Eternal Blue at the end of the article.
Yeah, he also has these awesome reproduction boxes somebody made as a concept on the bottom.
Yeah,
I can't read the text very well. It's these really cool box designs and discs, but I think the person that made it did a really good job. Maybe they should add some foil onto the letters or something and make it even pop even more.
Yeah, that's hard to do. That's not easy to do. So I respect companies like Working Designs that were able to do that.
But yeah, I was always a big Lunar fan myself. Like I have Lunar 1 on the Sega CD. Unfortunately, I do not have Lunar 2. That's another game I want to buy, but it's expensive. But I do have Lunar 1. I have both the Lunar games for the PS1. I think I have both of them for the Sega Saturn. But it's a really great series. I really want to get the Lunar 1 version on the PSP, and there's so many good versions of that. I mean, are you a big Lunar guy yourself, Dave?
I mean, not as much as you. I mean, I love the game. I played it on the PlayStation all the way through. I played some of it on the I went back to the Sega CD version and played like halfway through, but found that it was quite a bit harder for me, at least, or maybe it was just I'd gotten older and wasn't.
The Sega CD is actually really hard.
Yeah, so I found it a lot harder, but it was still cool. I like how the graphics are all different, and it's I haven't actually played through it on the Saturn. I need to. It's just a part of my endless list of games that I need to play. But yeah. I still think it's an amazing game, and I love Working Design stuff. I don't at all. I'm not at all one of those people who dislike the dub or dislike the translation. I like Working Design stuff, and I love all the tongue-in-cheek references and stuff like that. That's just, I grew up with Working Design, so it doesn't bother me. But I understand people who are like all about the, I understand people who that's just not their thing,
Yeah, and I have to say, though, I do, honestly, as much as I do like the classic PS1 Working Designs, I think with the fan translation, I think they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Where they added the dialogue for working designs, and they added the PS1 dub or the PSP dub, which I really actually appreciate. And that's not because one of the characters is voiced by Spike Spencer, aka Shinji Ikari from Evangelion. That's definitely not a bias there at all. But I just really appreciate the dub more on the PSP version. It sort of grew on me a little bit more than the old dub. But maybe I'm just being biased because I like the Sega Saturn version of that now. But honestly, they both have their time and place.
Part of the reason we had to do that, it was kind of forced on us because when Working Designs dubbed it, they actually edited the video to add more lip flaps for their script. So if you tried to put their audio in the original FMVs, it would fall out of sync like very quickly. So we just didn't want to sit there and re-edit it all, whereas the Xseed's translation for the PSP version, it matched up perfectly with the original Japanese FMVs.
Yeah, definitely. I actually wouldn't mind taking a crack at maybe once that patch is all said and done, editing the video for each of the cutscenes for the Working Designs dub, and see if I can get a version of that. So if people want to play with the Working Designs dub, they're able to do that. But
yeah, it's definitely doable. It's just something where we're like, I don't have time for this. It was basically what it boiled down to.
Well, if I find some time and I edit it together, would you be willing to, I guess, walk me through doing the encoding and stuff? And
the encoding's easy enough to do if you can get it edited.
Sounds good. Looks like I got another project that I'm gonna be backed up on with my other projects. No, but I definitely think it's something I want to take a crack at, along with the Resident Evil thing. But that's that's like the American novel that I never got to write. But we'll see.
Yeah, you didn't have enough work before. You need more work to really get you going.
Exactly. There's no better body than a busybody. At least that's what I say. But there's also the all work and no play McJacket dull boy. But I'm not going to axe murder anybody in a cabin. So let's continue on to the next article, shall we?
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I know we're running short on time. So I got this up today. I apologize to Zayden. This deserves more than what I was able to get up on this article. But essentially, it's Zayden. You guys may know he had a hand in getting NetLink games back online over VoIP, and he has gone ahead and restored all of the online features to Sega Touring Car Championship, which is a game that a lot of people may not realize is NetLink compatible. But yes, he's actually restored online leaderboards, an online website that you can access through your Saturn, translated everything Japanese to English, tricks and tips section, and then archived message board. He's actually planning to add a BB to the Dream Pipe for Sega Touring Car, but right now it's just what you access is actually all the old posts from back in the day. I don't know if you can hear my daughter screaming in the background.
I can. Did you want me to cover this while you go do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't know how loud it was, but she's like banging on the door.
I can hear it in the background. Yeah.
Can you cover the rest of this?
The show or the article?
The article. Do you know enough about it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah,
I can talk about it.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yep. So basically, I'll just restart the article. We'll pretend that didn't happen, just to cut that out. But essentially, Zayden, basically one of the big brains behind Saturn NetLink, basically brought this online feature for a game that many folks didn't even realize were compatible. That's right. Actually, a lot of Sega Touring Car Championship had NetLink features built in. There's a whole forum on the Dreamcast Talk forums talking all about it. And here are a couple features that were really removed that weren't really expected to ever come back, which is online leaderboards, an online website, translated Japanese to English text, tricks and tips, and an archive message board, which I think is insane. Like, I don't even realize how he did some of this stuff. This stuff is kind of insane that, I think one of the big things that he probably did that usually, if I had to make an assumption, I didn't really look too much into what he did, but if I had to make an assumption, he probably bought the old domain and basically linked pretty much piece by piece, put everything back together using old HTML from Internet Archives and things of that nature, and put it on that website so that when you go to the website link, it doesn't go to a dead site, but it goes to that. Because a fun fact that that technically SegaNet never really went down, as a lot of it's like peer-to-peer and based off of internet connections. So like nowadays you could still play with people on internet connections on NetLink. It's all due to it being peer-to-peer. It somehow survived the fact that you can't play it online anymore. Technically, but unfortunately the Japanese servers are not in the same luck because they're required to have a centralized connection to matchmake. So yeah, it's not happening for the Japanese public, but the U.S. public somehow saved the day by cheaping out, which is ironic, but sometimes it happens that way. It's really bizarre, but it just happens. And really what you need to access the features in your Saturn is the Sega touring car game, a Saturn NetLink modem, a Dream Pi, and a copy of Planet Web 3.0 or better for the Saturn. And you can actually download, if you want a browser, you can download Planet Web version 4.0 from the link listed in the article we have. And the setup process is, I wouldn't say easy. The first thing is you really need to set up a Dream Pi, which you can either do at homebrew or you could buy like kits online. There's some articles for that. I think some people, I'm always confused about this, that some people need the what's that called? The
VoIP adapt?
Internet.
Oh.
No, the simulator, the link simulator.
If I may, I can just sum this up real quick. If you want to browse the internet on the Saturn, you probably want to use a Dream Pi. If you want to play peer-to-peer games, you want to use a VoIP adapter. You can use both of those independently. Generally, if you want an all-in-one solution, you get the Dream Pi for your Dreamcast online, and for your Saturn to be able to do NetLink stuff, which is like going on the internet. And I guess doing this one new thing I didn't know about. And the other thing is the VoIP adapter for peer-to-peer games on the Sega Saturn. Both of those can be tied together with a normal phone jack splitter.
Yeah, and just so you know, from what I understand, it's actually not that hard to set up the Dream Pi now. You could either get yourself a Pi 3 or a Pi 0 or a Pi 4 even, and there's just an image that you flash to it. Or you just put it on the SD card and you're off to the races. But you can get the kit through the Dreamcast Talk forums. You can get the full kit that comes with a modem that has the line voltage simulator built in. So it's a little USB modem and it already has the line voltage simulator built into it. So that's it. It's just a USB modem that hooks up to your Pi and you're done. It's super simple. One thing I wanted to add to this, again, sorry guys, my daughter's home from school, so this normally wouldn't happen, but her school closed because COVID. Anyway, the one thing that he did want me to mention is that he's working on reverse engineering the password system. So right now, you guys are using, if you're going to do this, and we encourage you guys to try to do this if any of you guys are into this, right now you're basically recording your time and then sending it off as an email to his server. He takes that data and puts it into the leaderboards. The more data that he gets, that he collects from you guys, the more he'll be able to reverse engineer the password system so that he can just have it be, straight submissions from the Saturn, so your Saturn will just dial up and send the submission. Right now, what your Saturn does is it saves it to a little email attachment, and then it sends it off through the Planet Web browser.
The future is now, old man.
Yeah, so Zaiden, he needs more data. Maybe if folks are interested in helping him or want to reach out to him, he's on our Discord server. He's also on the Dreamcast Talk forums, and you guys can help. But yeah, he hasn't been able to reverse engineer or figure out how the passwords are being sent. But yeah, he said if he gets more people putting in entries, then he'll be able to decipher it or determine it based on that. So that's my layman's understanding of what he's dealing with. But anyway,
fascinating stuff. I would like to try it out, but I don't know if I can have the funds for a Dream Pi right now.
Yeah. And essentially they're not that expensive, but they're about, I would say, like the Pi 3 kit, which is the one that actually has the Ethernet port. The Pi 0 is Wi-Fi only, and that's not great for this kind of stuff. But the Pi 3 kit is somewhere around like $75. But again, like I tell Pat, there's so many things you want to throw your money at these days. I haven't gotten around to getting one, but I really need to. But essentially, yeah, this is great. It's just adding back more functionality for Saturn and online functionality at that. It's great. So the entire site has been rebuilt, and available, And here it is. Here is the actual site, Saturn version. You can click English over here, and there's Zaiden. That's his entry.
I'm guessing this is the domain he bought.
This is actually just off of DreamPipe.net. DreamPipe serves up all of these old sites to Saturn games. You know, so it's Saturn. So actually, I a few years back just scoured the Internet Archive several different years and kind of like scraped all of the info together and kind of fixed it and put it on a GitHub, kind of hosted it on GitHub, and it's on the internet. And then Zaiden just grabbed that and dropped it onto the DreamPipe so that people can basically browse this from their Saturn. And you've got like
so does the DreamPipe basically do like a DNS change where it detects the old address and
basically
replace it with the new one? Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
I wasn't sure if, I guess he just bought the domain, but I guess that's also a viable option.
That would be a viable option as well. But he's just hosting it from DreamPipe, and that's the same place that he hosts all the other, like the Saturn Bomberman stuff. Basically all the other stuff is hosted from DreamPipe. But essentially, it's got all the little goodies here and information regarding cars and music artists and stuff like that. And most of these links are active still, these wave links and stuff. But some of them don't work. But you get most of the stuff, so that's good.
Hey, better than nothing.
Definitely. Yeah, so cool. I mean, yeah, I definitely am hoping, what I meant to say also was that the game itself comes with a browser. It comes with CRI. It comes with a CRI web browser, but unfortunately it doesn't have the ability to send email attachments, which is why you need Planet Web 3 or greater at this point.
Makes sense.
But in the future, you will not need that. That will be like an unnecessary step, because in the future, you'll literally just send your score off directly through the game once he reverse engineers the password. And I believe that he will eventually. It just is going to take time, and it's going to take other people helping out to give him more data.
Lots of data.
Yep. And then closing out, we have your article on Radigy Chaos Field, which you also posted to.
Yeah, do we want to talk about that before we get into the article about our thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Do
you want me to do that? Yeah. Basically, yesterday we had a surprise meeting, a surprise tweet. I think it was like at 10 in the morning by Retro RGB, and he wanted to do a little project thing. So if you guys were in our Discord, you saw me, Dave, and Retro RGB in there for like 3 hours talking, and that was part of what we were talking about, what we're announcing right now. But it also was a video that he made that I don't know what's going to go up, but spoilers, we are in a video that's coming up on his channel in a little while. I forgot what the time frame was. Was it this Friday or next Friday? I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. It was just a podcast. It was like a podcast interview, right?
Yeah, but I want to surprise it, Dave. I want to keep it a surprise.
Well, but, you just said it. Yeah, I have no idea what the timeline was.
I said a video thing.
Oh,
but
okay.
Anyways, I was being vague. But anyways, as of today, we are officially working with Retro RGB on his website, cross-posting articles that he wrote on his site as well. So not only are you going to get content on that site, but you're going to get content on here, and it's going to be pretty much the same, except more like condensed on his articles for podcast sake, for him reading it out and writing it and talking about it on his show. But every time we read an article, it will be talked about on the Retro RGB podcast. So if you guys follow that, it's on retrorgb.com and on his YouTube channel, Retro RGB, and that's going to give us about 50K more watchers potentially for not only our YouTube channel but our articles as well, and sort of putting a spotlight on SHIRO for the most part. And Bob was very nice, very kind dude, and he offered to have us come on, write articles on his website and sort of cross-post them across there. So that way, instead of us asking him to share it out and adding him 50 times, we can just post it ourselves and he'll talk about it on the show, which I think is amazing. Like, what are your thoughts on this, Dave?
Well, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a win-win, you know, because it helps him out, gives his site more content, and it gives us a huge signal boost. And I think it's just, I think it's really a cool partnership. It was kind of like, I mean, I knew like I'd been wanting to like hook up with Bob for a while and get some kind of a collaboration going, you know, but I didn't really anticipate this, you know, like when yesterday when he was like, hey, do you guys want to record a podcast? Or what about today? You know, and I was like, okay, okay. And then after that, I think Pat and I were both a little surprised, but we're like, hell yes.
Yeah, we were very excited, and then he came on and offered that to us after the show, and we just had to say yes because we're big retro RGB fans. I know partially this podcast was inspired by Bob's podcast as well as his work and the community, and I know Dave's also a huge fan, but and I think Dave is he's more in line with Bob sort of on the OG side with the was it the DE Hazard website back in the day and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that, like Fudo's site, you know, before Bob started doing it. That's the thing is Retro RGB really compiled all of the information that was out there on forums. He just compiled it into one source, you know, one website, which was really helpful. But yeah, no, you're right, Pat. This site, this show is really, I would be lying if I said this wasn't, inspired by what Bob does, you know, how he like talks about the week's news and runs through it. Like that was we literally like based this off of him and like Linus Tech, you know, Linus, he does the WAN show. It was kind of like that. It was like WAN show.
Love Linus.
Yeah. And yeah, me too. It was like WAN show and Bob's Retro RGB kind of weekly podcast thing is what kind of really spurred SHIRO to become the SHIRO show to become more than just a weekly game stream, you know? So yeah, I definitely have to give credit there. And yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I'm really happy with this collaboration. And we should have. I believe Bob said he's going to be on a couple episodes that we're going to have as well on here. So we're going to work that out. A lot of it's just scheduling because Bob is incredibly busy, and we are also incredibly busy. So we definitely are going to have him on here. That's actually a guarantee that we're going to have him on here.
Yeah.
It's just a win thing. So, I mean,
yeah, it's like win for everything. Like we still need to have a podcast with the Sega guys, the UK guys. And it's all a matter of timing. Like it's not a matter of want. Pipeline. Yeah,
exactly. Like I know I have like 5 podcast ideas off the top of my head that we can just do instantaneously, but we just need the time to do it.
Yeah.
I know we need to do another dev roundtable. I think that was a lot of fun. And I do really want to do the one idea where we get the OG programmers and the new G programmers and put them together in a developer roundtable. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I think all the devs in here would probably be insanely excited for an idea like that. What do you guys devs think?
I would give a body part in order to go talk to Chris Sen.
We'll make that happen. Or at least try to. I can't make any guarantees, but we'll get some devs on and we'll figure something out to get them on the show. But yeah, I guess going through this article real quick before we head out because we have 2 minutes left.
Seriously.
Basically, Vatergy. This is a really interesting thing that came up. Basically, this was 2 fan translations 3 days apart. Like, I'm not even joking, it literally was that. So basically the first one was Vatergy, which a Wired Crackpot came up. He released that in the beginning of the year where he essentially inserted the Wii US version of the Wii's script, which I couldn't find any US version for that game. Was that like an eShop only thing? Because I did not see any US release for this on any game sites. Like, was I crazy, or maybe I was just tired and couldn't find it? Yeah, Vatergy never came out on the Wii in the US, did it?
Not to my knowledge.
So that's why I'm a bit confused. He said specifically that you look it up while we do it, that he got it from the Wii shop. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I was missing. I was missing something. Sorry.
It was on Xbox 360 as well, right? Oh yeah, and it was on Wii. Huh.
Yeah, it was on Wii, but the thing is that it came in Japan only from my understanding.
Okay, so you just got the WAD.
I'm really confused.
Just got the WAD from some repo. Sure.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, he didn't really go into details on that. But if you guys know in the chat, let us know, because I'm not versed in the Wii. We stopped at the Saturn.
Yeah.
But no, all joking aside, Legality basically was a late game Naomi arcade system game that came out in October 2005 by Milestone, and later, and a few months later, it was ported to the Dreamcast in 2006. So yeah, you heard me right. The game came out on Dreamcast in 2006 on a official GD-ROM.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? All those really late Dreamcast games. And of course, I mean, like, the Dreamcast was supported in Japan quite late. But
literally, I think the last release game was in 2007.
I'm actually really excited that you said that this is a Wii game, that he extracted the script, because Baroque is also an English Wii game, and I'm hoping that somebody can manage to extract that script.
Okay, so like, calm down on the Baroque stuff because we're still working on it.
Okay.
Like, I'll talk about it soon.
Hey, I can keep calm down. I can talk.
No, Doc. Dave said it live on stream. Now you have to deliver. It's SHIRO rule.
Yeah.
That's a requirement.
You have to do to the end.
Okay, so in exchange for that, I want to beat a dead horse for 2 minutes at the end of the show once we're done.
Go for it.
I'm sure you will.
All right. So, anyways, I guess speeding this up a little bit and before we head out. Basically, he took the script, put it inside there. Basically, Raturgy is a bullet hell game, and it basically is an insane story where you play a schoolgirl who must rescue her scientist father and her colleagues from a group of terrorists that try to stop a radio wave allergy cure, which you suffer from a radio wave allergy, and your dad tries to cure you, but the terrorists want to stop that for reasons. So.
And it's cell shaded, which was kind of the thing.
Yeah, it was really cute, and it's like a cell phone sort of thing. Like, you play in a cell phone interface.
Yeah,
very unique. It didn't really get that great of ratings, but it's still a really unique and fun game.
Yeah, it was one. I'll admit, it was one of those shmups. There were so many good shmups on the Dreamcast, if we're being honest, right? So it was like
so many good ones.
It's one of the lesser ones, I would say. If I think I'm being fair to say that this and like Karos, would you say, are kind of like lesser? They're good, but they're still not as great as like, you know.
They're not as good as like Under Defeat or
Ikaruga,
stuff of that nature. Ikaruga, but they're still really games. I actually think that the company that did this one also did Karos and the next game we're going to talk about.
Yes.
So, which is the next game, which is, of course, I was looking at the wrong article. The next game is Chaos Field, that also got a fan translation by our very own Derek Pescarella, or AKA A-Team. So essentially, he was like, you know what? He saw us, he was like, you know what? I need a little break from my massive magnum opus project. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to try and do what he did and insert the GameCube script into the Dreamcast game. But then he noticed when he was looking at the files that 80% of the English text is already in Chaos Field. All he needed to do was flip a switch and pretty much translate the other 20% that was untranslated, and it was ready to go.
Wow.
He pushed it out literally 2 days after Raturgy came out. Like 2 days. That's not even an exaggeration. You can look at the dates and you're like, God damn. But Chaos Fields is kind of interesting. It's a boss rush game where basically you just play endless bosses, and it's really difficult. I had a more difficult time playing this than Raturgy.
Agreed. Yes.
But once you get good, it's a lot of fun, and you get the mechanics down. But it reminded me a lot of Radiant Silvergun almost.
Get good.
With all the different mechanics.
Yes. It's kind of convoluted. It's not... Yeah, it is... And I mean, Radiant Silvergun has a boss rush mode as well. But so it's a little more convoluted regarding all of the different gameplay mechanics versus like something more straightforward like... I don't know. What's Chaz's favorite? Ikaruga. Yeah, well... Even Ikaruga has
Battle Garega.
Battle Garega. That's very straightforward. It's just like, you know, really hard to see those bullets. Yeah. But that's awesome. Shouts to Derek for doing this stuff. You know, he keeps saying that hopefully all of the accumulation of experience that he gains from Dreamcast hopefully will one day lead to a Saturn patch. of some kind. I'm hoping that that's true.
I can't wait to see what he has in store. That guy's insane in the best way possible, and
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see what he has in store.
Yes.
All right. I think that's about it. Did you want to... Sorry, you were saying?
I thought it would lead to a paying job, but a Saturn patch is also good.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. Maybe we might find a way to capitalize on this and have our own studio. That'd be kind of cool, right?
I think that would be cool. Actually, we ought to just say that. I think it's fair to say that SHIRO, we're looking to hopefully get some people involved and maybe make that a reality,
Yeah, we literally have no plan, really definite plans, but this is like baseline stuff, but we'd love to make a studio of some sort and maybe have some of you guys on in the chat that do development. Maybe.
I mean, we've got the brand, we've got the platform, we've got the ability to help promote stuff. So it kind of makes sense that we should have some kind of a studio arm, and do something with it,
Dave,
I'd be down.
Dave, you know that you technically are already on a studio, like Starlane for Blue Skies, because I've included you in the payout.
I don't want a payout. I don't want any money. I'm just like, you guys are my friends. I want to help as many projects as I can.
We want more games. What we want.
I told Xenos I'm not going to take a cut until after the first $69 are made.
69? Nice. Is that like an arbitrary number, or are you picking that?
Oh no, it's completely random. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
Sure. No, technically I am. Xenos invited me to Team Starlane, so thanks. I'm an honorary Team Starlane member because I designed their. I guess I have to redesign a title screen, right? Because there's already 3 other games called Blue Skies.
Just add subtitles like MTG.
The title screen is fine. I'd much rather have you redesign the itch.io page because I'm not very good at it.
Oh, okay. Fine. Fair enough. I have a lot of community requests in my inbox right now, and I'm a little overwhelmed, but I promise I will get around to it. Good. And you can keep your money. You deserve it. You've done all the hard work. Yeah, so
all the 20 cents.
Exactly. Emerald, you said you had something you want to talk about before the end of the show.
What's a beat a dead horse?
Yeah, the beating the dead horse was that I was still at work when you guys started the show, so I missed the whole pre-patch thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and unconditionally co-sign anything that Trekkies and Knight said, because I unequivocally support their position as the senior patch dev members that I'm aware of that are still active. However, tomorrow I'm planning on trying to do an exhaustive here's how to patch stream. So if you want to tune into my Twitch channel tomorrow, and in the meantime, PM me or DM me or at me on one of the Discord channels that I'm on, which game you want to see me patch. I will try to go through every game that is suggested to me so that there is some video record of someone saying, I don't know how to patch this. You literally just follow my mouse.
Right.
I don't know what the hardest thing is to patch. Maybe the Police Knots is the hardest one out there right now that's really current.
Personally, I found Malenko's stuff to be the hardest stuff to patch, but even that was only getting my head around what he actually meant by certain files and then a couple of clicks. So I'll just have a video record of here's your patch instructions, here's how you physically do it. And I'm trying to use that as okay, guys, it's not that hard.
Honestly, I think the most important one you should probably do is Knight's Final Fantasy one.
The Trekkies?
Trekkies, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. I'll try to do this year's competition entries and a handful of popular ones, and if anything gets recommended to me in the meantime, I'll do those too.
Did you have a time frame for that, like a date?
I think Knight did get a patch for the Final Fantasy one.
Yeah, so it's even easier than what I had to do because I was using CD Mage.
Gotcha. All right, so what was the time on that exactly? Tomorrow at what time?
Okay, so you're in Arizona time, and I think we're desynced from,
Just give us the PST time.
PST? Okay, so 8 for me is like 7 for you guys, right?
Sure.
It's 4:39 right now, so whatever time that is.
It's 4:39 for me, so 8 for me, 7 for SaturnDave. So 7 PST, what's that, like 10 Eastern? Okay, yeah. That's when I'm going to do it. Cool. So in the meantime, in the next 24 hours or so, send me all of your game patch suggestions, and I will add them to the list, and I'll try to do them in logical order.
Okay, cool. And put that, post that in our promotions channel on
yeah,
SHIRO
and we'll
Discord.
share that on the announcements.
Yeah, and we'll share it on announcements too. Cool.
Just all the info, and we'll share that on our site and everything. All right, so before we go, why don't we thank our patrons that made this all possible? Of course, one of them being Emerald Nova, who's in here in chat. Thank you very much. Zohannes Fetz behind the amazing Joe Engine. Blue Moon 95, who is our newest patron that we forgot to shout out on the last show. But
yes.
Thank you. Derek Prescarilla, Momphis, Tanuki Trev, and of course, Young Money Sui. Thank you very much, you guys. If you guys want to get shouted out on the show, you can back us on patreon.com's SHIRO Media Group. And at the 10 level or above, we will shout you out on the show. $20 above, you actually could be on a quarterly podcast episode if you'd like. We need to get Emerald on one soon. Probably not this one, but the next one coming. Any other below that, you get all access videos, and of course, backing us also helps us. Backing us at any levels get you shouted out on our videos at the credits.
Yeah.
But backing us at all helps us a lot. Helps us get money for equipment. Helps us get stuff that we can't normally get because we have a lot of people in this group, and it's really hard to afford some of these things, especially when stuff like a satiator drops and it's like $250 each.
Yeah.
So it's a big ask in some nations, but it helps us review equipment, keep the website hosting up, keep the podcast hosting up every year.
And of course,
so that helps a lot.
E3 was canceled again in person, but I have a feeling that some of these funds that you guys are helping us with, which we really haven't spent, like it's sitting there. It's we want to be sure to use it wisely. So I have a feeling that we're going to get to some conventions soon, and we'll be able to like meet with a lot of you guys, and hopefully that'll be helpful. Either Pat or, Peter or me. It just depends, but I have a feeling that that'll help.
Yeah. And we're hoping to get some cons. No one sent invites yet, but that doesn't mean they won't ever send it.
Right.
We just got to keep grinding, and we'd love to be at any con. So if you guys know any cons that want to have guests like us, we'd love to go. Just give us some information. I'll let them know that we're interested, and we'd love to talk at it. Either panels, meeting you guys in person, helping you guys debug stuff live, talking about Saturn stuff, like anything. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And then, of course, if you don't want to back us on Patreon, you can also back us on our Threadless store, which is Sega Saturn SHIRO Threadless. It's on our website as well. And we have a new cool design by Dave, which is the fist with the controller. I don't know if you could pull that up at all.
Oh, I don't know. Well, let me just see. Let me see if I can.
But essentially, yeah, we have some great shirts on there. I'll wait for him to pull up, and then.
Oh yeah, I forget you have a Threadless link on our website.
Yeah, cool. And then of course, if you guys don't want to you can't back us financially, you can also share us out, shout us out on Twitter, like our video, subscribe, ring the bell, do whatever you can to support us that way. Any little helps. So like. Notifying, of course, helps us show us every video that comes up because YouTube is dumb and doesn't like subscriptions. Yeah, like I said, cool SHIRO shirt, got the little fist going through there. Got cool design colors. You had a lot of different variations. Dave drew this up. It's very nice. I like it a lot.
It's pink for Pat. I made sure we had a pink one.
For Pat. Patty pink. I like it.
There you go.
But yeah, I think that about does it. Do you have anything else before we head out, Dave?
Are we going to do a game stream? Or no?
Yeah, I'm going to go through some of the competition stuff.
Nice. Awesome.
And just play a couple of those.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, Pat's going to grab the stream as I close out. So you guys just stick around if you want to be able to chat. And I think that's going to be open to everyone, right? The game stream? Yep.
Game stream's open to everyone. You want to talk, chat, hang out, shoot the crap.
Sounds good. Awesome. So until next time, this is SaturnDave and TraynoCo signing out and reminding you that you must play Sega Saturn.
You must. Du musst Sega Saturn spielen. Also, I got a lot of stuff up on.
Yeah, and on the Phoebe, it read file track 2, and that gave it some garbage techie sound noises on my Saturn.
Yeah, no. With like a modern setup, you're just gonna hear track 3 and beyond.
Oh, good. I was just scared that Blue Skies would start up and then there would like be a horrible noise that would kill Patrick and his earphones.
Yeah.
So which version of Pat? Which version of Final Fantasy do you have? Do you have the addendum one I did that fixed the one really annoying bug?
I have. Let's see. I'm trying to see. That's in the original games, right?
Yep.
Final Fantasy. It doesn't show the version. It's whatever Trek you sent me. So, whatever Emerald sent me.
Okay.
Is that one?
We'll see.
All right. So.
Playable. It's just there's a bug that was in it that I fixed where they're basically like, as you would encounter battles, there would become a disconnect between the scroll of the map and where you were on the map. So you'd start to get like off by a couple tiles.
Interesting.
And it was just irritating.
So if you got that fix in by the end of the first, you like the day of the first, there's like a 20-ish hour period where I was constantly applying patches to the judges folder. If you got that in by that time period, I think it's already in.
Yeah, I think I got it in by what was it? I got it in like 11 EST on that day.
Oh, it's almost certainly in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
So did I get the okay to do Blue Skies, or is that a no-go? I just want to make sure if I play it.
No, it's definitely gonna work. So the Phoebe is like a weird old piece of equipment that has very, very specific needs for the images on it. Every other ODE should work just fine. Okay, yeah, that works. So we'll do that one first because I want to show off this awesome game. So I never really got to play this before. I only saw a video of it as Emerald was coding it. So, here we go, baby. Ooh, I love the music.
That's just the third LOD. Like the fourth is monochrome, and that's the third. And when you get close enough, it will pop in. That's one of the courses. Okay.
I like it. Who did the music for that? Was that random or is that Shadow?
That's Shadow Mask. The first one is Shadow. The first one is Aviator by Shadow Mask.
Yeah.
I called it that.
Yeah, if you go on the Sega Extreme contest thread, I did list out the track listings in order with their authors.
Fair enough. So, yeah.
There should be like 7 tracks if I remember correctly, and they're by Random Stuff, Shadow Mask, and May Rosencrantz.
I do really like this layout and the implementation of 2D and 3D elements. It reminds me a lot of what they did with Bulk Slash, which I think is really cool.
Thank you for liking your sprite. So many people, like, I at this point, I guess Ray and Pona are just trying to troll me by saying we would like the plane to be a mesh.
There, I don't know. I kind of like the effect. It's kind of cool. So I noticed you can change the music tracks with the X button.
Why?
Oh, why? There we go.
I really like that you got that you needed to do the looping just by intuition.
What do you mean the looping?
I was pretty careful to make sure that the future path would be at least visible from the previous waypoints perspective.
Okay, and then you can let down the throttle by holding the B button, and you can increase the throttle with increase throttle with A, release with B, so you can come to a pretty much crawl. Is this accurate to where I'm gonna stall if I go all the way down to 0?
You can give it a shot, see what happens.
Okay, so I'm gonna do 1, 0. I am stalling. I am dead. I like that. That's pretty funny. So then the trick is to not stall your plane. So for those of you who don't know, stalling is when the lift on your wings it's lower than I can't remember the exact specifications, but it has to do with the lift of your wings and the speed you're going. So say you're going straight up, and then the air in your wings is going to be lower, and then you'll go into a stall and you'll crash the plane, or it will go shooting straight down. So the goal is to always keep your speed like equivalent to your altitude. I think that's about a good way to describe it, right? Or am I just not describing that correct at all?
Yeah, so the game used to have a full, well, not a full, but a mostly implemented drag lift and gravity system, but the dynamics of that really meshed really hard with the control scheme and the motivations for how the plane should handle, because by default right now, like if you go forward, you're going forward, and before it was hard to balance it so that that was still true, because the lift and the gravity would keep fighting each other in terms of how strong they would be in relation to each other. So right now, this is like an arcadey version of what used to be something closer to like an Ace Combat style control scheme with more realistic physics.
I do like it a lot, though. It's very nice feeling. It feels really nice to play and very arcadey, which I like.
Like, what would people actually prefer? Like a simulation-y, what Doc said, kind of control, or like more of arcade style?
I kind of like the arcade style. I mean, it's all just preference. I mean, if I want to play a simulator, I guess I'll play FSX, but I mean, something like this is just a lot of fun. It reminds me of Toy Commander almost. If that makes any sense.
Is that a Dreamcast game?
Yeah, it's basically you play it like a toy planes and stuff, but the physics are more cartoony. Yeah,
I remember that. I've played that too.
It's a really good game, but I really enjoy this game a lot. I really think there's a lot of potential, and I really am excited to see what you guys do. I do like how you have the UI that looks like a Ponuts game. I don't know, is this just the default Joe engine information?
That's the default text printout. I didn't. I don't think we actually finished a font yet to do a proper printout like Forsaken Plane had. So for now, this is it, and then future work, I guess, is gonna have to. I mean, work on Blue Skies is probably gonna slow down relative to this last few months, but future work is gonna have to do a font system and a menu system and a proper title screen, and that'll get done eventually.
No, for sure. I really enjoy it, though. I think it's a really neat game and has a lot of great concepts to it, and it just feels nice to play. It's relaxing, you know.
That's the goal. It's supposed to be relaxing. I would like for the courses to be more challenging, but they seem to be challenging enough because you're having trouble and are trying to circle around that thing.
I'm just trying to find out where the other ball is. There's no. I don't know where the other clear ball is, so I'm looking for that.
Yeah, we wanted to have like maybe an arrow to point there, or like text prompts when you hit a ball. Like for the looping, when you hit the first ball for the looping, you get a text prompt to pull up hard.
Honestly,
like
you should
that.
do like a voice thing, like in ooh, I crashed. Like in Bulk Slash, where it's like pull up, or like it's over here, stupid.
We need to figure out ADX first, like compressed audio for voices before we can do that.
Yeah, so Ponent's Pony Sound has been instrumental in multiple senses of the word to getting sound into the game engine, and we know it supports ADX, and I'm just going to have him, when he gets some time, to train me on ADX encoding and importing to get voice clips into the game. And I think Meepy Sheepy, who isn't really known in the community yet, but she's starting to work on a game or two, would be willing to lend her voice to this game to do some basic pilot instructions.
I'll be down.
We would like to have like a Craig Stadler style person on screen, like someone in a pilot uniform.
Ooh, I like that. Just have like me in a pilot uniform. What's up, cadet? My name is Captain Keys, and today we're going to take you on your first flight instructor. Today we're going to go on a sharp bankment and a classic. What was the name of it? The Cessna 386 on a nice embankment course around the loop. And what you want to do is you want to aim for this logo, and then as soon as you do, you want to make a sharp left and make sure you don't stall. That's always a definite threat when flying. Hopefully that was a good audition. You can contact my agent at www now.
I mean, you get the green screen. It would, if we, again, I'm going to require some training, so probably Trekkies can teach me how to import and key out Cinepack style videos in a way that makes sense on Joe Engine.
You can only do this though if you end up saying that you're Pat Bones TraynoCo.
I like it, Pat Bones. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, well, I think Trekkies wanted to do this trainer, and I thought maybe this trainer could also incorporate splash screens or an FMV, but I guess I'm putting him on the spot there and just voicing my hopes and dreams for this trainer that you could just add the splash screens and title screen and the FMV you wanted.
So I don't know about FMV insertion, but I think replacing.
Well, if you made a small little like executable that could play Cinepack, yeah, you could drop that in.
Yeah,
but it just may not have enough space on your disk for it.
I doubt any homebrew game is going to run out of space at the end.
Well, if you have a bunch of CD audio, you could.
Yeah, but I mean, even with like, we have 7 tracks in the game, we didn't even bother trying to save space anywhere else, and we're at like 150 megabytes.
Also, ADX encoding is actually pretty easy. You can do it with FFmpeg. There's ADX encoders out there. Actually, the entire like CRI tool set for doing it has been like leaked. We just don't have the libraries for it.
Yeah.
Sorry? Do you want to check out the main island just so you don't spend all the time on the second island? So
yeah,
we
I was trying to find. Oh yeah, I'll go to the other island. I just want to find where the ball was on that. I couldn't find it.
If you can't find it, it's usually above the island somewhere.
I found it.
Like right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it.
And I don't know if you've tried the dive bomb course, but that's actually the buggiest course in the game. Half the time I end up making myself able to bug through the island, but I don't know if like a normal player would do that.
Yeah, let me make a swing around and get the 2 little balls, and we'll continue on.
So for the ADX stuff, it's not necessarily just like converting a file into the proper encoding. It's more about the streaming setup that's likely required to get the whole thing to fit into SoundRAM, or just loading bits and pieces of it into SoundRAM without interrupting the game. And I
like it when it hits 60 frames though. It looks really nice.
Yeah, so there's a problem with the collision setup where it's a little too aggressive on checks, which is slowing down the game. And once we modify the collision setup to take larger and more evenly spaced triangles, it should be easier to filter out a lot of those checks and keep the frame rate. Maybe not 60, but probably 30 the whole time.
It looks nice though. I like it.
We're also gonna work on the LODs, so this is not ideal what you're seeing right now. I'd like to improve the LODs to be more fluent, and maybe have the LOD of the island be a bit further out, because you have to get really... it's fine for the second island, but the first island probably needs there it goes. Yeah. So this is based on Beef Island in the British Virgin Islands, and
oh, I like the head, the Maui head.
Moai, yeah,
Moai head,
from the
yeah.
Easter Islands.
Easter Island head, yeah. I crashed. Oh, come on! What the heck? I barely hit the island.
Yeah, you need to be careful. Keep above that. Keep above that island.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way back.
You can.
I think you were trying to crop dust those flowers there. That was a little bit too close.
Yeah, those flowers are meant to be sunflowers and lavender. I don't know if you can really get that. Like, if you want, Pat, you can try to describe what you're seeing, so I can get a sense of if
I'm in the thing. Yeah, it's live on the Discord thing. So if you want to watch it on Discord, it will show my thing, the video live, so that way it's like 1-to-1. So there shouldn't be any lag.
Yeah, I just want to see if because this is very low poly, I just want to see if you can describe what you see, and if what you see is actually what I meant to portray when I modeled this island.
All right. Well, the long gray thing that looks like a runway. I'm guessing that the green is the grass, the purple is the flowers, the houses just popped up. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that on top of the hills?
It looks like flowers, like sunflowers.
The white poles.
Oh, the white poles. It looks like windmills.
Oh, seriously, that's that? Yeah, the windmills probably need to have actual turbines on.
Yeah, the turbines probably would help.
Yeah, we forgot them. We're gonna put them in, so we're going towards something, which I'm not gonna.
But no, the stuff on the island is very describable. Like I pretty much got everything, like the sunflowers, the runway over there. I wasn't even near the island and I crashed.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it. Let me catch up on the stream.
It's live in the Discord if you want to watch it there. It's like 1-to-1.
If I already missed it, I gotta wait for it to come up on the stream.
Yeah.
Sorry for making you always go back to the island all the long way.
It's cool. I'll only deduct you a couple points on your final score.
Oh wow, I totally missed that crash the second time. Yeah, so maybe the collision mesh on the plane got a little bit too close to one of those power poles. That's one of the challenges with this pre-rendered sprite approach, is that there isn't like a physical quad in real space for me to do the math on. So the perspective of looking at the plane is not necessarily going to match the constructed quad that it's supposed to represent, and that needs to be fixed as well.
Fair enough.
I was wondered if you could just fly a box around and see if that worked.
Well, that's kind of like, remember I made you make that collision, those collision polyhedra for that reason, to start working on that logic at some point.
Yeah.
So can I actually land on the island?
No, don't try that. Don't try that. You will always crash.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody tries that and they crash because we haven't implemented landing. Keep way away from that island if you don't want to crash. Like, keep way above it or you're gonna crash again.
Fair enough. But no, I really like the soundtrack. I wonder if we can get this on vinyl. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to get maybe a little single of all the songs on there.
I talked to Shadow Mask, Random, and May, and I think they all gave the okay to have the soundtrack separately. We're gonna publish that on HIO separately. If I remember correctly, everybody gave their okay, and the proceeds of that are going to be distributed among those 3 guys only. The other guys are not gonna get any share because that's their work alone.
That works. Yeah, no, because that'd be really cool to get like a little maybe a, because there's only gonna be a couple songs in here, right? Like about 3 or 4 songs.
There's nothing much at that end of the island you haven't seen. Like, try to turn around and keep way above the runway and then look down. You're gonna probably see more because this part of the island is not very populated.
I noticed. But no, yeah, I'd definitely be down for that. Illegal percussions, and I think that'd be kind of a cool little neat gift for the celebration release of this. Is like maybe a little 7-inch vinyl or something of all the songs on the soundtrack. And I imagine the video game community would eat something like that up.
So, 7 songs running about 15 minutes or so. I don't know how long vinyl will last.
15 minutes. That easily would fit on on maybe, yeah, that probably would be a good 14, almost like a 7-inch vinyl, I think.
Yeah, I think an LP usually if you include both sides, you can get about 2 hours of music, roughly.
Yeah, if you squeeze it. Usually it's recommended to do 25 each side, though.
Do a run along the runway and tell me what you see.
Alright, let me go check out the turnaround.
Game over. Press start to start again.
That's what I'll see.
Yeah.
Just make sure to keep way above the stuff. Oh god, nah. Yeah, okay, what do you see?
I see planes, I see buildings, I see the
What kind of buildings?
Control looks like silos. I don't see any control towers though, but I might need to turn around and see it. In a boat. Or is it a lighthouse? That's a lighthouse.
Very good. That's
That'd be really cute if you make the lighthouse called the Lighthouse of Sen whatever from Sensagolo's game. I think that'd be kind of a funny reference.
We'll reach out and see if we can't do a collaboration. He'll take a plain sprite in the background and we'll.
You see there that there's the tower.
Oh yeah, there it is. It was kind of hard to see. I'm just trying not to crash.
There's the airport and the hangars and the power lines.
Yeah, I like it. This is very detailed. I really like it a lot.
I thought it was maybe too detailed, like too busy. I thought I maybe should reduce the detail on the island, but I guess if you like it, that's fine.
Oh, this is awesome. Like, just watching it is amazing.
Like, those are some skyscrapers, I guess you can see them.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to say anything right now because of the competition, but I definitely think this is a potential hell slave killer for me.
I don't know about that one. Well, you see, what I want to try to do is like have the wind turbines go into like a power plant, and then that goes into the power lines, and they feed into the city itself. So I wanted to have like something that made sense, like the power lines, like the wind turbines having a natural progression into the city and feeding them power, so that the island would have power and would be autonomous from other islands.
Dang, look at you, all that attention to detail. I think that's something that I really appreciate in games. It's just that crazy attention to detail. It's insane. You guys just muy perfecto.
I didn't do something like the arch because we didn't have collision, and I needed to have collision so I could really do something like arches you could fly under, because I needed to have like a sense of if you were gonna crash or not, or if the plane was even gonna fit.
Interesting.
There's probably going to be a release down the line. I don't know if it's going to be this year or not, where multiple areas should be unlockable. So I mean, first we got to do a whole achievement system or whatever with these courses. But I think the next area planned is the Southwestern Mesa.
Interesting.
Yeah, that and the Cloud Ocean, which is I thought was a cool idea to have. Everybody can pitch ideas. I had the idea that instead of water you could have clouds, and then you would have mountain peaks like punching through the clouds. Similar to what you see here on the Cloud Mesa would basically be like a sand ocean with like these Monument Valley like mesas popping up. And I can recommend to people like trying this game in your browser and trying to turn off the layers, because the ocean is a VDP2 layer and the sky and the islands are actually a mesh. So that was what that was basically the trickery we were doing with this. We at the beginning the plane and the skybox were supposed to be also on the VDP2, but that proved to be too difficult.
Sense.
I have a question about control scheme. Does this work with the mission stick?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, so the mission stick, if I recall correctly, is just a remapped standard Saturn controller.
No, that's the twin stick. The mission stick is actually analog. It's,
okay.
Actually, the 3D pad and the mission stick sometimes get mixed up by some games.
Right. Okay. So the thing is, we have a library. I believe Raimi donated a library for us to use, and we did not have enough time to implement it. But it doesn't look like it would be very hard at all to insert analog 3D support into the game based off of the way the mathematics of the game works. It should be a very quick fix once I successfully implement that or include that library. And that should cover not only the standard Knights 3D pad, but also the mission stick.
Like, also, if anybody here would like to give a pitch on what kind of biomes, like environments we should do, like what we should replace the water with, like we had the idea of sand or clouds.
Yeah.
Just ping me. I can always, like, now that we have the engine down, we can, like, if you have a good idea, I can implement that.
Well, if you want to do a cool reference,
do a lava one, flying through hell.
Yeah. If you want, speaking of hell, if you want to do a good reference to me, I would add Sky Harbor International Airport or Newark Liberty International Airport into the map. That'd be kind of cool to have a cool reference to those areas.
I was thinking of different biomes, like maybe have a tropical biome where you have, like, fly over Brazil or something.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, if you want to put in bad airports, you could put in the Philadelphia airport.
Oh, of course. I don't know.
Wait,
who.
Did you say
He said
Philadelphia or Philadelphia?
I said Philadelphia.
That's the name of the airport. Hey, you know what? I want to showdown. What airport's worse, Newark Liberty or Philadelphia?
You need to.
My only experience between the two has been Philadelphia, and it's terrible. Like,
yeah,
you wait
Newark
like an hour or two after getting off your plane for your luggage. It's terrible.
Yeah, Newark also sucks.
Concerning that, you need to, like, think of biomes where you have mostly flat terrain with, like, little patches of islands or something, like, where you can put meshes, so we can't have very busy terrain because of the nature of the engine. It would have to be mostly flat with, like, a few mountain peaks punching through the clouds, or with the mesa, you have, like, little mesas in there, or, like, with the rainforest, you would, like, just have small clearings, and the rest would just be uniform rainforest, and you would just have small clearings, or the Amazonian river in between. We're
trying to do, like, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor through the mountain valleys.
Nothing.
I'm not going to comment on that one.
This is a non-violent.
I'm not saying violent. I'm just saying, like, the pathway that they took to come through the islands.
Honestly, it'd be kind of like a cool, like, hey, this is the path they took, like, sort of a historical thing, like, hey, this is the route they took, or like flights that like famous flights, like I'm trying to think of a good example that's not gonna get us canceled on YouTube. Like
Earhart.
Earhart flights.
We need to keep the scope small. We can't do far travel air flights. We need to have, like, contained little areas.
Yeah, Zen,
you could do, like, for Amelia Earhart, do, like, flying through the Bermuda Triangle and make it like that episode of Rocko's Modern Life where weird things start happening.
Just glitches out.
But I'm not talking about, like, the bombing area, but if you went through, like, the pathway that they took, you know, so you come from one side of an island, you go through, like, a mountain pass, you come to the other side, and then you, like, look over at a harbor and, like, you pull off.
It's gonna be more like Minecraft biomes, so nothing very specific.
The other thing is, like, even if you're just doing, like, here we're flying the path they took, things like that just don't go over well. Those are very, very, very sensitive subjects. So, like, I would also not do New York City.
Oh my God, no.
Like, yeah, I was hoping we didn't bring that one up. Let's not bring that one up.
Xenos. So I just want to address. Xenos is vastly overstating limitations of the engine. Slowdown is not due to quad count; it is due to physics calculations. So, something like trying to fly through, say, the Grand Canyon with a very simplistic wall geometry would be doable, especially if you limit the sections of the walls with log generation. And so you're only actually doing collision comparisons on very small segments.
Doc. It's not the limit of the engine, it's the limit of the Xenos. It's the limit of how much Xenos can model before he breaks down.
Well, so Emerald, what you could also do if you want to get fancy there with the Grand Canyon, do what...
You don't want to get fancy.
Do it.
I'm the only 3D modeler.
This has nothing with modeling. This is just a fancy VDP2 thing. Do what Grandia does and do the windows with the VDP2 plane, and then you can have like multiple. You can have like the bottom of the canyon and like the top like part outside the canyon done on the same plane.
So you guys do a Death Star.
Death Star.
That would actually be cool. Like recreate the Death Star attack from Rogue Squadron.
I actually had ideas for two VDP2 planes, if that's possible. Like on the jungle level, we could have a VDP2 plane for the river, the Amazonian, and like have a VDP2 plane for the actual forest, if that is somehow possible.
Well, you have like 2 ones, but then you lose all other background layers. But what you can do, and it's what Grandia and a couple other games do, you can define window regions within a plane and give them different values. So like Grandia, like if you're like, for example, in the Salt Ruins right at the beginning, where basically like it's that whole flat like grassy area and then it goes down to like that area they've dug out, both levels there are on the same VDP2 plane, but what they've done is they've mapped out a window within the plane and saying, okay, the stuff within the window is going to have these ones, so it looks like it's lower than the stuff outside the window, even though it's on the same rotating plane.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that we have like a 360 view, which Grandia doesn't, so we need a ceiling. So you can basically pull up and see the like...
So the thing with Grandia is like the engine can actually, like the camera can be anywhere. So like in debug mode and a couple other like demo things from like, I think it's the Prelude disc, they show demos of moving the camera freely everywhere, and the engine can do that. Another one is I'm pretty sure Radiant Silvergun does the same thing. Like, you know that really famous boss battle? I think it's like it's the other big ship. I think it's called like Penta, where it's like it's barrel rolling. You have like the ground plane and the sky plane, and they're moving with it. I'm pretty sure that's doing the same thing with just one plane and having like a window dividing it down the middle. Because if you pay attention, you still have other layers behind it.
Right. So I'm just saying that any high-level manipulation of VDP2 is probably going to be more complicated than I'm ready to try to implement right now. But I'm not sure why Xenos thinks like a canyon would be too difficult, because I think that would just be essentially taking a flat plane in Blender and deforming it down into a few different patterns. And then you could do exactly what was suggested earlier, like a Death Star-like run, where you just have a section of a sphere rotate underneath you and generate new sections of sphere in front of you.
I had ideas like doing. I don't know if you guys know Prop Cycle Japan, which is basically pilot wings but in a course. I had ideas like that, but if that is gonna happen, you guys are gonna need to give me time to figure things out if this is feasible. So right. I can't promise anything. I first have to try this out.
Yeah, Xenos, no one is promising anything, but for something as simple as like the Death Star run, that's literally like a section of varying patterns of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, varying patterns of 5 quads rotating underneath the player and just generating one after another at like small angles.
I don't want to make it too simplistic.
Well, let me just say something real quick, man. Like, none of this is meant to be like pressure. It's all because we're pretty excited about this thing. This is super cool. So, like, I just want to say thanks for making this, and like, don't feel overwhelmed or anything by the excitement that people have about what you've created. the ideas that are being like presented. I think it's super cool as it is.
Yeah, no, I'm really vibing with this game. Like I know it's not much, but I mean, like viewers have not dropped off, and we're just flying around randomly. It's really relaxing. I think the viewers also agree that it's a very relaxing game, which I appreciate. I think there's not a lot of games like this out nowadays where it's just like you vibe, and I really appreciate games that have that. And I think Kay and I are on the same wavelength as well.
Yeah, the flow is definitely something I was going for. I just thank you for saying that I don't need to feel pressured, and excuse me if I can't put in all the ideas because maybe because of scope, and also because I need to have like a consistent theme. Like I can't put in stuff that breaks with the theme, because we have to have like a consistent, like going around the world in a red biplane theme. So we are gonna probably some generic biome themes here, not generic but interesting, but not too specific.
So I just wanted to comment, just because like a lot of times when you're talking about the limitations of the engine, you seem to get like the difficulties backwards. So like the VDP2 stuff for me is a lot harder than figuring out how to manipulate meshes. So that's why I wanted to say, just as an example, the Death Star run is something immediately doable inside of this engine with a few tweaks. Doing stuff like what Trekkies is suggesting requires a lot more homework on my part to try and figure out how to do that kind of implementation, especially inside the limitations of Joe Engine. However, what I was planning on doing with the legwork that we're doing on Blue Skies is a lot of this is a prototype for systems that need to make themselves into scenario. So the flight system you're experiencing here should eventually become a vehicle system for scenario. The collision attempt here is the second attempt I've made at a collision system, or comprehensive collision physics system, that will eventually get iterated into a third version that will also make itself known in scenario and whatever other 3D game I'm going to try and make in the future.
For sure.
That is true. Like that, we have like games spearheaded by different people. People seem to want to have this as a standalone game, but we also want to have the project spearheaded by Emerald Nova, which is his scenario space fantasy game.
Honestly, that's kind of why I wanted to do that sort of SHIRO Studio thing we were talking about, because I think having something like that and having that support would really help you guys out in terms of being able to focus on development while we focus on all that other stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of development is cumulative and incremental, in that the work that we do here is transferable to other stuff. And so, even if you're rewriting something, you're rewriting it slightly better than the last version that you did. So I'm constantly saying that, yeah, okay, the work that we're doing in Blue Skies is not going to stay in Blue Skies, because a lot of these systems need to be expanded and explained. And I think once I have a good handle on the collision and LOD combined systems, I can do a quick write-up and allow people to try and more easily utilize XL2's ZTP format to more quickly get into a 3D physics environment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, Doc. I think the idea behind Team Starlane, which we two started, is that we can achieve more together, and we can, if like everyone pitches stuff together, everybody can like have their idea done. Like, this is I'm the idea guy behind this one, and you're the idea guy behind Scenario and Forsaken Plane, and I guess we'd like to have enough people to like keep making games, and in the end everybody gets to have their limited scope project, or yeah, that's how I understood it.
So RZ, I'm not sure if I understand your question. Is this game serious? I don't know if that's more of an exclamation, or if you're saying the game is a joke. I honestly don't know how to read that sentence.
I think he might have meant like he seems passionate about it. I think he meant like is this a seriously developed game, or is this like a thing that's just like a demo?
That's not what I meant. It's like that's how I interpret Team Starlane to have like several.
No, I'm referencing the guy in the chat.
Yeah, it's just chat. So is this an official game? No, this is our game. We made it with unofficial tools. We do not have a physical method of selling this game in an official format. Not without PS Kai attached. Film Cal, yes, we can do an Ocean of Blood and Islands of Bone. That would be a simple texture replace. It would also be very disturbing.
Honestly, we need to get a Film Cow collab. Can we get official okay from Film Cow to be able to add characters from this show in here? I would love to do a
Llamas with Hats collab on Saturn.
Yeah, Film Cow, let's get that an official like writing. Can we get like an okay to do Film Cow characters within this game? Well, I mean, they can, not me.
I'd like to say something to the official part. So, as far as I'm concerned, yes, this is a full Saturn game, which is in prototype development, which is sold on itch.io. Like you can donate, you can get it for free on itch.io, but you can also give us a donation if you like, and that every donation helps toward development, and so please support us and we can make this like a full version 1.0, I hope.
So I don't think that's where RZ was coming from. I think he's literally confused. Is this some sort of unreleased proto from like 95 or something? And no, this game was developed in 2021.
Yeah, this is an official Saturn. Not official Saturn. It's a homebrew Saturn game that's going to, if they want it to be an official release, or I guess as official as you can make it in 2022, whatever. But I guess the point is that yes, they want this to be a full retail game and not just a demo. This isn't something that came up that was developed in the 90s and found. This is an actual demo prototype game for something that's been in development since 2019, 2020.
I would say Blue Sky's development basically started in 2021. I don't know of any serious. I don't know of any serious engine work that went into Blue Skies before then.
No, Doc. We did Scenario for the 2021, and then I pitched this idea to you, and we basically started in January 2021. So it's exactly 12 months that we've been working on this game, and then people have been coming on. Like Random was a late joiner, but he did a lot of great work for a game, and we had lots of people supporting us. So this is basically just a pre-alpha Saturn game, of course without the consent of Sega, but I considered it as official as it gets today. It's just a pre-alpha Saturn game, currently in development, and the development version is up there for you to download or to donate to.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that you can play this right now. This isn't something that is locked behind door and keys. If you want to play this right now, you can go on their websites. I don't know. Is it hosted on Sega Extreme too?
So the link is on the Sega Extreme forums. I have to update my link on emeraldnova.com. So just go to the Sega Extreme contest page for the 27th anniversary, and you can see all of this year's entries, including there should be 15 original games. I think like 5 translations updated for this year, some of them new, and a handful of utilities to help you get into Saturn development. And all those entries are being entered into the competition for cash prizes. So next year, around this time, you could, over the next 12 months or so, try to develop your own entry to do something similar to this. Because again, this game was developed in about a year.
Gotcha.
Almost exactly.
Also, I want to give an update. FilmCow did say specifically, if anyone wants to add any FilmCow characters to a Saturn project, you have my explicit permission. So that's a legally binding contract. And then they said this might be official release, but also absolutely has official levels of creamy 3D graphics. So I think that's a good job. That's a A-OK job. A compliment from FilmCow.
Yeah. So I think we spent a good deal of time on Blue Skies, and I think we've been gushing about it a little bit too much for my own taste as the developer. There's other games. I think RZ said he wanted to see the first person of other developer. I'm not sure.
I think he's referencing XL2.
Okay, he's talking about Hellslave.
Yeah.
I think people want to see the update to the Final Fantasy now that the battle system is partially implemented. So we should start loading up some new games if you're done buying them.
I got some bad news for you, buddy. I just ran out of time on the stream.
I'm sorry, everyone. This was a Blue Skies
stream. But listen,
we spent too much on Blue Skies, but we're gonna come back to the other games.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. When are we gonna do? When do you guys have a good time to do the official judge competition stream? Because I was thinking maybe the night of the 17th. I don't know if you guys are okay. If you'd be okay with that.
So I am, as is tradition, the day after judging, I will do a showcase where I will play basically a 5-minute segment of every entry. That should be on Saturday the 14th around 10 p.m. Eastern. That is when I'm planning on doing that. So that will be right when the judges submit their results. I will announce the winners, and then I will drag my feet on sending out the cash prizes and the 3D prints because that part always takes forever.
Do we want to do maybe a SHIRO stream maybe on that Friday then in that case, on the 12th? Or whatever that Friday is, next Friday?
So on that Friday, I will still be tabulating results, but we can talk about the SHIRO, because 3 judges are SHIRO members. So you 3 guys can talk about your scores, and we can do a partial tabulation, and then I will use that and feed that into the other 6 judges' opinions. And I know that on the 15th, Pandemonium also has a video that I think he's planning on releasing related to the competition.
Sounds good. All right, so maybe plan for the Friday in that case. Would that be probably a good day to do, Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night. I think that entire weekend for me is just going to be handling competition-related stuff.
All right, so you heard it here first. Next Friday, the 14th, we are going to play all the games. Hopefully, have all the developers in if we can get them all in. We'll try to go late. It'll probably be another 3 to 4 hour stream. So buckle up, buckaroos. If you know what I'm saying.
Okay. So I thought Friday was the 13th, but no, it's the 14th. So how about we do that? I'll just let you. Here's the thing: can you stream for 5 hours? Because that might be what it takes.
I will stream for as long as it takes because I am dedicated to these developers, and I will play every single game unless something happens where I literally die in my chair or I have an emergency with a family member. I will not get up and stop playing, but I might have to get multiple controllers. That is the only stipulation.
Right. So I will let you be the official announcement stream this year, and I will just forward your link for Friday, and I will appear on your show, and I will announce the winners as you play.
Sounds good.
Can we just?
Sorry.
Can we just get? I posted the official link in the chat. After we've been talking about this, we could get the official link in.
Yes, and all judges are. I'll create a video thing for that and a link, and we'll get a date set up. But yeah, I do think that any judges that want to hop on as well, if FilmCal, if you want to hop in, Nick, you are also welcome to join as well, and of course all the developers are welcome on the stream as well.
Right.
We might limit it to only those people though. So, I think that stream will probably have to do that. Nick, we're gonna be going for 5 hours, so. If you're able to hop in at any time, you can. You don't have to be in the entire time.
If you want to get an idea for how long it takes, go look at my last year's competition showcase, and we basically have the same number of entries.
No, I just meant the Blue Skies link because I'm routing everything through itch.io.
Okay, yeah.
No, not right now. It's gonna be next Friday.
Yeah. So if you want to post the Blue Skies link, post it in the YouTube chat and post it in the Discord, and we'll get all the link updates set up.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I have to fly away. Gotta fly high and go back to this thing called work. So, I'm gonna go crash into this mountain now. Bam. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We did all the shouts out in the first half of it, so I will just leave you by check out the competition next Friday. We're gonna do a stream. Gonna be probably 5 hours. We'll see how long it takes. Feel free to hop in, hop out, tune in, drop in, whatever the LSD thing is. Do that. And yeah, we will see you next week, guys. And of course, remember, you must play Sega Saturn. Phew.